Alright, yeah! Thank God for fantasy football. I'm Buster Brown, and the show is called Redemption Rehab. Today, we're taking a look at those impact players to pick up on your waiver wire. So buckle up, get out your popcorn, and let's head over to the chalkboard
and check out the facts.
Okay, here we are taking a look at the players that you need to pick up the waiver wire heading into 5 of the NFL season, starting with this guy. How about Woody Marks of the Houston Texans? He's a running back. He's only owned in about half the fantasy football leagues out there, so he might be on your waiver wire. Last week, he rushed the ball 69 yards and a touchdown. He also caught the ball 4 times for 50 yards and another touchdown. With the injuries to Joe Mixon, the unreliability of Chubb, he's the next guy up. Go get him, pick him up. Might cost you a few bucks. Put him on your lineup. Who else do we like at running back? Guy we've been talking about for weeks. How about Kenneth Gainwell of the Pittsburgh Steelers? With the injury to Jaylen Warren at the last minute, Kenneth Gainwell got the start. He rushed the ball 19 times for 99 yards with 2 touchdowns. He also caught the ball 6 times for 35 yards on 6 targets. He's a guy you got to have if you have Jaylen Warren on your team. If you don't, hey, man, he went out there and scored you 30-some points in fantasy football. Pick him up, possibly put him in your lineup. Another guy you got to know about at running back, especially if you have Alvin Kamara on your team, is this guy, Kendre Miller of the New Orleans Saints. He's available in 90% of fantasy football leagues. Last week, he rushed the ball 11 times for 65 yards with a touchdown. He didn't have any receptions, but I tell you what, man, Alvin Kamara could get traded here. The trading deadline this year, instead of week 8 in the NFL's week 9, they changed it. Wouldn't be surprised to see Alvin Kamara end up in another team. Who else do we like at running back? We like these guys. We've been talking about them for weeks. We told you to go get Tajay Spears. He's a running back for the Tennessee Titans. He's coming off IR. He's only owned in 40% of fantasy football leagues. I like him. Ollie Gordon didn't do much last week, but he's the handcuff to Devin Achin. Amari DiMercato of the Arizona Cardinals is the new handcuff to Trey Benson with the injury to James Conner. Amari DiMercato do last week? How about he rushed the ball 2 times for 8 yards, but he did manage to catch 2 receptions for 13 yards and a touchdown on 2 targets. So you might want to consider picking him up, put him on your bench. We also like these running backs. If you've got Kyren Williams of the Los Angeles Rams on your team, you got to have his handcuff, Blake Corum. Last week he had a good game, and you better know who this guy is, Xavier Scott in Minnesota. Last week, rushed the ball twice for only 1 yard, but he did manage 6 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown on 8 targets. You know, Aaron Jones is hurt. You got Jordan Mason in Minnesota. So for the next month or so, the handcuff is this guy. Who else do we like at running back? We like Devin Singletary. He might be somebody you want to pick up. We like Isaiah Davis of the New York Jets. He's the new handcuff now that Braylon Allen's hurt to Breece Hall. We also like is Emmanuel Wilson out there in Green Bay. He's the new handcuff to Josh Jacobs. Last week, Emmanuel Wilson had 8 carries for 44 yards and 3 receptions for 37 yards on 3 targets. Hey, maybe you need a tight end. I'll tell you what, how about this guy who's been around the league for a long time, went on retirement and came back down there in Miami, Darren Waller. Last week, he had 3 catches for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's on a pitch count, but with Tyreek Hill out, he might be somebody that's available in 95% of leagues that you want to pick up. How about this guy at tight end? Mason Taylor of the New York Jets. Last week he had 5 catches for 65 yards on 7 targets. He's the son of Hall of Famer Jason Taylor of the Miami Dolphins. I'll tell you what, this kid can play football. You better know who he is and keep him on your radar. Who else do we like at tight end? We like these guys. Don't forget about Tommy Tremble down there in Carolina. He had 5 catches for 42 yards with a touchdown with the injury to Jatavian Sanders. Keep an eye on this guy too, Oronde Gadsden out there for the Los Angeles Chargers. He had 2 catches for 16 yards on 3 targets. And we like what Dalton Schultz did down there in Houston. He He had 5 catches for 30 yards on 6 targets. We've been talking about Brenton Strange for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had 6 catches for 45 yards on 7 targets. And guys you need to keep on your radar while George Kittle's hurt, how about Jake Tongas? He scored another touchdown this week. He had 3 catches for 58 yards on 5 targets. And you got to keep an eye out for that tight end situation out there in Seattle. A.J. Barner had 3 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. And Elijah Roy is a rookie we talked about in our NFL draft preview show. This kid can play too. Tell you what, man, how about some of these wide receivers? Romeo Doubs of the Green Bay Packers. I'll tell you what, he come in there last week. He's owned about in 50% of fantasy football league. He caught 6 balls for 58 yards and 3 touchdowns on 8 targets. We really like him because Jalen Reed's hurt, Christian Watson's hurt, and keep an eye out for a guy named Dontavian Wicks. Wouldn't be surprised if he had a good game this week for the Green Bay Packers. Who else do we like at wide receiver? We love this guy. I'll tell you what, Darius Slayton of the New York Giants. He's available in 95% of fantasy football leagues. With the injury to Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton went out there and caught 3 balls for 44 yards on 4 targets. And we've been telling you about Wayndell Robinson. I think you'll see Wayndell Robinson come in and play better. And with this new young quarterback that we've been telling you about, Jackson Dart. We talked about him in our NFL draft preview show. You can watch Jackson Dart at any of these affiliates behind me at Fantasy Football Redemption Rehab. Who else do we like at wide receiver? How about this guy, Jalen Coker down there for the Carolina Panthers. We liked him in the preseason. He's coming off of IR this week or next. I'd put him on my bench. We also like this guy, Troy Franklin of the Denver Broncos. We still like Alec Umanor of the Tennessee Titans. We told you about Luther Burden of Chicago. And guys we haven't talked about, I'll tell you what, how about Luke McCaffrey down there at the Washington Commanders? Last week he caught 2 balls for 21 yards and a touchdown on 3 targets. He's the brother to Christian McCaffrey, so we know he can play football. Keep an eye on him with the injuries to Terry McLaurin. Keep an eye on these guys, Jalen Tolbert and Cavante Turbin. We told you about these guys last week down there in Dallas. Both went out there and did decent with the injuries that they have to CeeDee Lamb. I mean, the guys you want are George Pickens and Jake Ferguson. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these 2 guys had a big game this week. Who else do we like? Keep an eye on this guy. I tell you what, Malik Washington down there in Miami. Tyreek Hill's out for the year with a gruesome injury. Jalen Waddle's probably going to get a lot of targets. But Malik Washington last week had 2 receptions for 13 yards on 3 targets. And he ran the ball twice for 8 yards. Other guys I'd keep on my radar, how about Adonal Mitchell down there for the Indianapolis Colts? He caught 3 balls for 96 yards, and he had a touchdown, and he fumbled it out of bounds. We like him a lot. We also like Marvin Mims of the Denver Broncos. He had 6 catches for 69 yards. He had 1 rush for 16 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Addison of the Minnesota Vikings might be on your waiver wire. Why? Because he was suspended the first 3 games. He went out and had 4 catches for 114 yards on 8 targets. And we also like Isaiah Bond of the Cleveland Browns. Last week, he caught 3 balls for 58 yards on 6 targets. With the injury to Cedric Tillman, hey, man, someone's got to catch the ball. This rookie signed in the offseason as an undrafted free agent. We liked him going into the season, but he had some off-the-field problems. And now he might get some playing time with the Cleveland Browns. Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, hey, man, why not pick up this quarterback here? Dylan Gabriel. He's probably going to get the start over Joe Flacco. We told you about Jackson Dart. He's the new quarterback for the New York Giants. I'll tell you what, Cooper Rush is the new quarterback for Baltimore Ravens if Lamar Jackson can't play. Cooper Rush been around for 7 years, used to play for the Cowboys. I wouldn't be surprised if he got you 15 to 20 points in replace of Lamar Jackson. And I'll tell you what, if you need yourself a defense, go out and get yourself the Cleveland Browns. They've got a great schedule coming up for defenses. They play Minnesota, they play Pittsburgh, they play Miami, they play New England, and they play the Jets. Well, that's it for our Waiver Wire Report show. I'm Buster Brown. The show is called Redemption Rehab.